What's up, car audio champions? Today we got an exciting one. This is the Hifi Vector Audio Monoblock 1100 watt amplifier, the V1100.1. So I've been working for over a year, testing amps, putting them on the dyno multiple times, and I'm finally ready to come out with these amplifiers. So this is the 1100 watt version that I have. Comes with the bass knob, the remote cable. It's very heavy duty amps. The build qualities on my amps are really good. This one is pretty compact, coming in at under 12 inches long. So it's not too big, and the width is about 5.5 inches. So it's a pretty compact amp for a true 1100 watt monoblock amplifier. And this is a class D. This is not a full bridge. This is a half bridge. So the sound quality on this is very good. That's one of the things I tried to focus on, is good sounding amps that hit those lows. So on this side, you got your remote input. You have your two RCAs in out, phase, gain, low pass, subsonic, and bass boost, which most guys don't use that. And on this side, we have 4-gauge power inputs and then two 4-gauge speaker outs. And then we have a indicator light if it's on or in protect mode. And this does have high voltage, low voltage, overcurrent, short circuit protection circuitry, which works very well. I have yet to have any of my amps, as many times as I dynoed them, I've never had one go into protect or had one fail. And I brutally tested these for over a year, because if I'm going to put my name on it, I got to make sure it's good, right? So we're going to put this thing on the dyno, check it out, see what it puts out. And also I have a 3K, and the 3K is a monster. I'll be doing that dyno soon, but you can check that out on the website, hifivector.com, and I'll put links in the video description. But lots of heat sink, lots of aluminum on these amps. It just helps dissipate heat better. And I built these to last. So that was my goal. And as much as I dynoed them, none of them have ever skipped a beat, not even gone into protect. And a lot of amps I dyno for other people, they'll go into protect once, twice, 3 times during a dyno run. So that's saying a lot. But let's go ahead and get this thing hooked up and see what it does. All right, so as always, we're starting with 4 ohms, and we're doing certified. And certified basically stops reading when it hits 1% THD. Also, I'm going to be keeping my voltage relatively low on here. I don't want to inflate, try to inflate the numbers with higher voltage. So I'm keeping it right around 14.4 or even less. So this is real world kind of driving in your car voltage. So we got 492 watts certified. Now this is rated in the manual at 450 at 4 ohm, 750 at 2 ohm, and 1100 at 1 ohm. And we'll put a chart up later with the efficiency and the overall results, but so far so good. So obviously it did over the 450 watts. So now let's move on to uncertified. Some of you guys know, some of you don't. So certified stops reading up to 1% when it hits 1% THD. Uncertified is max up to clipping, which on a subwoofer amp, that's kind of more realistic, because you guys, when you're cranking your amp and your sub to the hilt, you're going to end up reaching clipping. Not that you want to clip it, but that's kind of like the max power output up to clipping. So let's go ahead and check this out. See how much it does. It already did over the 450 on the certified. And these amps sound really good. I'm real happy with the sound quality of these amps. The lows too really come through on my amplifiers, which is what I'm real big about. If you guys know me, is sound quality. So we got 493 watts, uncertified at 4 ohm. Efficiency is really good on these amps. So we only pulled 40 amps to get 500 watts basically. So now let's go ahead and reset the dyno, and we're going to do dynamic burst. And again, a lot of you guys know the differences, but I explain it because sometimes there's new guys and they don't understand. So dynamic power is real power. but it's just the real power that the amp could put out on short bursts. So like rock and roll kick drums that are just quick and last, a split second, but it is real power. So especially that number is good to look at if you do listen to rock and roll and normal music, because it is real power. And so we're breaking over 506 watts. And again, that's just at 14.4 or 5 volts. I'm not cranking it to 14.8 or anything to try to inflate the numbers. I'm trying to be as honest with the power rating as I possibly can. And I try to do that on most amps, actually. All right, 2 ohm test. So we're looking for 750 watts, and we're starting with certified. And again, we're at starting at 14.4 volts. And this amp did really good on that Memphis Mojo I did the video on last week. So 795 certified, clean, all the way up to 1% THD. And again, the efficiency looks really good. We'll put a chart up later. But yeah, and these are really good sounding amps. I tried to come out with amps that not only do what they say, do rated power, but be strong and robust, and can take some abuse, but also sound good. Because some guys believe there's no sound difference between amps. There is. If you guys know me, I test stuff back to back. Sometimes I've tested 6 amps back to back in a day. And when you hop in your truck, listen to one, pull it out, switch it, hop in, you can tell a difference. So there is a difference with amplifiers. I think the guys that say there's not, maybe they don't have a good ear, or maybe they haven't done the back-to-back testing where they've pulled stuff in and out, which I understand most don't do because it's a pain. So I can assure you these amps sound very good. Almost 800, 799 at 2 ohms. And that is uncertified. And I had rated it at 750. And I'll put a link in the description for this amp. I also sell custom bass knobs, and I'm coming out with subwoofers soon, believe it or not. I've been testing those for like 2 years now, so I will be glad to finally make my decision and come out with subs soon. So keep an eye out for that as well. I just love car audio. I'm very passionate about it, and it's fun. So, hey, you never work a day in your life if you love what you do, right? All right, so dynamic burst. A little bit more. 849 watts at 2 ohm dynamic, 14.31 volts. So let's go ahead and get that 1 ohm test going. All right, so we're looking for 1100 watts. And as you can see, I'm not pumping up the voltage. Actually, I should have pumped up the voltage and recharged, but I left it at 14.15. Oops, forgot to set the hold there. So we got 1113 watts, and we were only at 14.1 volts. So it did over even at lower voltage. Again, 1195 watts uncertified, and I only have it at 14.13. I'm not even recharging, turning on my power supplies. And the reason I left it is it just, the amps put out what they say, and that's the point I want to get across. So almost 1300 watts dynamically at 1 ohm and 14.1 volts. So these amps definitely put out the power, and they don't need super high voltage to do what they say. So that's what I wanted to put that point out there. All right, guys, so here is the result chart. So you can see it did over what the manual said on every run quite a bit. And the efficiency is good across the board. It dropped down a little bit at 1 ohm, uncertified, and I think that's just because I didn't catch the stop the meter in time, and it was just kept pulling even when it hit the max wattage, but still very good. Did all of its rated power, of course. So, hey, not too shabby. All right, and here is a look inside of this amplifier. As you can see, it's very clean, very tidy. I'm a stickler for quality control, so these things are super solid. You can see instead of smaller caps, there's 3300 microfarad 80 volt 105 degrees, and also 4700 microfarad 25 volt 105 degree caps. Insulating boards under the power supplies, and very good protection circuitries on these amps. I haven't had, in testing over a year, I haven't had one go under protect on the dyno. I've probably dynoed them 50 times each at least, so very solid. All right, guys, so that is the video today. Let me know what you guys think. I'm real excited about them. The price is good for what you're getting. I mean, if you guys know me, I'm picky. Sound quality is a big deal for me. I have put these things through the paces. Obviously, I own a dyno. I beat them to death. I've never had a failure, never had one even go into protect. So that just shows how tough they are. If you guys are into it, check them out. It's always cool to support new small businesses coming out in this day and age, but it's just a solid performing amp. I think right now they're priced at around 160 bucks. So for what the power you get and the build quality and the sound quality, I mean, I think it's a great deal. So let me know what you guys think. I know a few of you guys have already bought these, so chime in and let me know. But if you guys like the content, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Keep an eye out too. I have a Monster 3K that's just a beast. You guys can check that out if you need more power, but I'll be doing an amp dyno on that soon. So thanks you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Please be advised, no amplifiers were harmed during the making of this video.